Grace and peace, everybody. We're back. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, so you know what we're about to do. We have a good show planned for you on today. I plan to be interviewing the Marine rapper who is a conservative rap artist who's been doing crushing it on YouTube. So he'll be coming on shortly. But in the meantime, I thought I'd do something that I haven't done in a little bit of time. I haven't done this in a while. I haven't gone through Twitter with y'all in a minute. I figured that would be something fun today. Let's go through Twitter and look at some of the crazy shenanigans that are happening on Twitter. If you want a pretty nice barometer for what's going on in the world and why we need to order a supersized asteroid with a side of millstone, all you gotta do is just go through Twitter, and you'll be like, oh, that's why we deserve this. That's what's wrong with us. So I'm gonna go through Twitter. I got some fun. There's some wild stuff out there. Twitter is crazy, and so hopefully we'll learn something. Have a good time. Let us go. Let us go. Let's bring it in. All right. So I thought this one was really interesting right off the bat. This is Martin Luther King Jr.'s son, MLK the third. Listen what he says. My daughter has fewer rights today than the day she was born. There is one candidate in this election who wants to roll back our rights and one who wants to restore them. We're not going back. And that was probably here in Atlanta the other day, since they're poll up here in Atlanta. That was it. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna read these things. You know what? I'm gonna read a comment or two. Let's check out a comment or two because I'm sure they're fun. All right, let's go. You want your daughter to be able to abort your grandkids. Weird flex. Full stop. Good gracious, man. I wasn't ready for that. Plus, list what right she doesn't have. Being a victim is big business. Wow. Yo, you are full of it. Abortion is still legal and abortion was never constitutional right. Your father fought for Black population to thrive. You fought for Black population to be aborted. That's so sad. Wow. Goodness gracious. He's going to hate this, man. This is not, I don't think these are the comments he wanted. These are not the comments that you want, Mr. MLK3. Good gracious. All right, we're just scrolling through. All right. Yo, these Olympics are brutal. This right here, if you haven't seen this, this is a Italian female boxer who was made to fight against a man. And she threw in the towel 46 seconds into the bout. The man hits her right in the face. And she said, no, we ain't doing this. And she threw it away. And sadly, her name is Angelina Carini. And she had a really interesting story. She had a very promising story. And her story definitely would have been one to go back and look at as somebody who's overcome a lot of adversity, who really was coming in here with a mission and a passion. She was fighting for a father. I mean, lots of positive stuff. And she actually gets beat. Oh, I'm sorry. She threw in the towel to a man, a guy in the red. He's from Algeria. And it's very clear. The guy, listening to the Olympic Commission, this right here is this is what the long game of feminism is. Just say that there are no gender roles and say that everything you can do, I can do better, and women can do everything and men can do everything. This is the end goal. This is the end result where you actually literally have women fighting men and men dominating women. There'll be no women's sports if they don't halt this foolishness, there won't be women's sports. I'm saying that right now as a dad of 2 girls. I'm telling you right now, there will be no women's sport if this continues because there's going to be no reason. But why would a woman want to put herself in harm's way? Definitely combat sports. Maybe they'll be like still women's chess and maybe women's spades, maybe bunco. There'll still be women's bunco, but women's sports in the combat and competitive nature, no, it's a wrap. If y'all don't stop this, it's a wrap. I don't want to hear this guy. I think the mayor of Chicago he has to be probably one of the premier.
He felt the heat.
Hold on the planet. Let's back it up a little bit. Let's see what this gentleman has to say.
and he felt, but he ran into blackness, and he felt it. He felt the heat.
He ran into blackness.
The unconditional love, the masterpiece of the black woman that only an amazing God can take an Indian and a Jamaican and create somebody in his image, a black woman.
You talking about Kamala?
But he ran into blackness.
Who's the he?
And
Okay, sorry, but let me go back and read this. Hold on.
He felt the heat.
I'm sorry. Is he speaking at a church? Y'all, okay. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. Trump ran into blackness and he felt it. The masterpiece of black woman. Okay, now I got to read some of the comments on this one for sure. It takes a special kind of degree of delusion to say some of the S like that. That angry black woman tried to harm Trump, and Trump absolutely destroyed her. Oh, they're talking about at the journalist thing. Okay, got you. I'd say delusional is being kind. These people. Man, Sarah said, an unfair prison sentence via Joe Biden's crime bill. Alice Johnson pardoned by President Trump. How many black women were pardoned by Biden and Harris? None. DJT, not a racist. Wow. These comments are not going the way these people think. These comments are not games. Good gracious. Yo, do you agree with teas should be banned from women's sports? Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's a whole man. That's a whole dude. Tell me something different. I don't think I don't even think he's even done surgeries. He's not taking the estrogen. Not a bit. Like, no, that's a whole man. And they should not be in competition with women, period. Like, why? The fact that we actually have to, somebody actually has to do this poll, I think is part and parcel of the problem that we have in America. Somebody actually has to say this. Somebody had to say this out loud. A whole grown man had to say that it's wrong for grown men to hit women in the face in combat sports. And that needed to be said? Come on, man. See, that's what's wrong with us, man. We are in trouble. We're in cash, money, trouble. What does it say? Then tries to come to court and get media credentials to stream proceedings on the same channel. This whole case is now ghetto. What are you talking about? Black law student? All right, let's see what black law students talk
When would
about.
you ever think a former lawyer, while a trial is still active, would call a former client who is actively a witness in which litigation is ongoing? They'd call it there and interview them in public. I've never imagined that anything like that would happen.
Me neither.
When would you ever
Oh, I
think
know what they're talking about.
a former
okay. Wow. Black law student is not playing games. I see you, black law student. I see you, my friend. I see you. Biden just destroyed Trump. Reporter asked, Trump said he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say about that? Biden responded, why didn't he do it when he was president? Boom. What hostages are they talking about? Biden addresses prisoner swap with Russia. What prisoners, I wonder? I don't know who they are. See, these type of things right here, you got to see like dates. I need to see some dates and times. I need some timestamps on them joints because I don't know what y'all talking about. that would be great. But the problem is he'll say that he's a woman, therefore he can't fight Mike Tyson, who's clearly a man. I mean, that's what he's going to say. If they would, I mean, that's exactly what happened. I think Mike Tyson should give the proceeds to the actual woman that lost to him. But I mean, battered women's shelter is good too. Not minimizing it, but I think the young lady who lost to this man should be, that would be a great compensation. All right, so clearly this must have been recently, okay? Because here's this Biden quote again. Let's see it again.
Chancellor Scholz saying President Trump has said repeatedly that he could have gotten the hostages out without giving anything in exchange. What do you say to that? What do you say to President Trump?
Why didn't he do it when he was president?
Sir, what did Chancellor Scholz? Thank you guys. What did Chancellor Scholz say?
Okay, I mean, I guess I'm not certain what hostages they're talking about. Okay, let's do it. Let's jump into the fray. Let's jump into the comments. He did do it when he was president. Kamala Harris, everyone who supports her. Why didn't Joe Biden get them out 3 years ago? They were taken hostage during the Biden admin. I don't know who these hostages are, but that's hilarious. Democrat Party be like, if you want to save democracy, you'll vote for a candidate who installed after lying to you about the incumbent's health to prevent a primary you could have participated in. Also, the candidate who selected was polling in the single digits when she tried to become president in a fair primary. So that's why we had to rig it for her. So get out there and save democracy. Yikes. Yeah, Twitter is not playing today. My goodness. Thank y'all so much. The Russian journalist. Who's the Russian journalist? Interesting. Okay. Hey, thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Okay. He says he's going to ban biological men from competing in women's sports. I mean, why is that controversial? Because please keep in mind, I've said this multiple times. There is a political party that is the party of death. They don't see their lineage going into the future. They don't. If I need to, I'll go back over it. But they're the party of death. They munch up babies in the womb. They get rid of olders when they become inconvenient and everything in between. Please understand, show me another political party that is pushing this idea, because please keep in mind, persons who mutilate their genitals are not able to reproduce. And please don't miss me with they can take some kind of steroids or take some kind of hormones, whatever. Those children are going to be really, really devastated. Y'all have yet to see that. What from y'all experimenting on children like that. But I digress. There's only one party that is literally the party of death. Their platform is literally built on killing and murdering. And why do we have to explain this to y'all? I don't get it. What does Virgil say? Virgil says, I echo the sentiment of my friend, Delano Squires. All sport leaders address the issue that men should not compete in women's sports. I agree with that, regardless of their declared gender identity. And this is really sad to watch this young lady, because she really wanted to. I guess she had all the potential of being an Olympian, a gold medal Olympian, and gets clobbered by a guy. I agree. Where's her leg? Her leg looks weird. Okay. Is this a video game? It's a video game. Okay. Trump's nephew. That's hilarious. This dude literally has tattoos on his face. Okay. All right. You do your thing, my guy. You do your thing. Yeah, tell me that's a woman. Tell me that's a woman. I'll wait. You try to convince me of that. You need to be convinced of that, because nobody else is believing it. Ooh wee. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. He's been giving Kamala the business. Been giving her heartburn. Here's an old CNN story about Kamala Harris when she was almost being portrayed as the next Gandhi. where was all of the collard greens, hot sauce, and Tupac? When did the performative blackness start? Yo, okay, let's check this out. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed. Appreciate you, brother, for that.
Precocious 19-year-old Indian.
My mother, who raised me and my sister, was a proud woman. She was a brown woman. She was a woman with a heavy accent.
And her mother, Shamla Gopalan, was also the biggest influence in Kamala Harris's life.
The answer is absolutely yes, Joe.
After the big announcement, Harris's sister wrote in a Twitter post, "You can't know who Kamala Harris is without knowing who our mother was." In 1958, a precocious 19-year-old Indian, Gopalan traveled thousands of miles from her home and family to pursue a doctorate in nutrition and endocrinology in America. She soon became an active civil rights crusader while studying at UC Berkeley.
But once she went there, she almost felt free. And she took part in politics. She used to bring a whole series of literature, leftist literature from Karl Popper's, he was a great philosopher.
In her book, Harris says, "There is no title or honor on earth I'll treasure more than to say I am Shamla Gopalan Harris's daughter." Harris's visits to India with her mother kept her connected to her roots. Her grandfather, who had strong views on humanitarian issues, worked closely with officials to reallocate refugees. Their conversations had a strong influence on her.
Those walks along the beach in India really planted something in my mind and created a commitment in me before I even realized it. That has led me to where I am today.
Harris's maternal uncle, Gopalan Balachandran, who lives in Delhi, tells us how the senator turns to her amma, which means mother in Tamil, for guidance even after her death.
I don't have to tell her, make your mother proud. She said, what are you telling me? Everything that I do, I ask myself, would Amma approve of this?
Kamala in Hindi means lotus flower and is an important symbol in Indian culture, rooted deep in the bottom of the river. Very similar to Harris's Indian identity, which she wears on her sleeve. There's no doubt that the primary source of learning for Senator Harris was from her mother's experiences and the conversations that she had with her maternal grandfather when she visited India, which was very often accompanying her mother, or when the grandparents would visit them in America. Back to you, Rosemary.
Okay, interesting. So how do they square that peg that
My
now she's now saying that she is Black? Interesting. Let's read a couple comments. My, how times have changed. Private prisons are morally wrong. It's hurtful to see them profiting today, but we cannot despair. And that was from November 9th, 2016. Private prison stocks are skyrocketing right now because of Trump's win. Not my president. Okay, that's Tariq. We need you fighting for us out here in California, Senator Harris. All right. So, all right. Shout out. Interesting. What changed? You're just like for Trump certainly changed. Now you are all for him. So tell us what changed. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I see this gentleman put him on front. Got it. Okay. Sometimes Twitters are hard to read. Tweets are hard. All right. What we got going on, right? What in the world? There's a lot happening at Estella Dupree's, founder and prophetess of Encounter Christian Church. That's not Christian, though. What religion is that? That's not Christian. I'm not even going to click on that. That looks crazy. That looks wild. Yo, Black law student has written a RICO indictment against Fonnie Willis and the Fulton County DA's office. Let me find it real quick because it is some good read. Okay, real quick. Is this it? This is it right here. Shout out to Black law student. Let me see. Did he put it in the Okay, it did not. Okay. Let's make it bigger. It's okay. Shout out to the lady, dear old Christian, just pulled in. I hear her in the kitchen. The kids had a great first day of school. They had a good time. Now, granted, Taylor came home and crashed, and I actually haven't even heard from her since, but it is what it is. Okay. Why won't this get larger? Anyway, can y'all see that? You cannot see that. It looks horrible, Jason. Why did he not make it available as a file? I don't see it on here. And I definitely am not going to insult y'all by making y'all read this little tiny print. So I'll drop it in the chat. Y'all can definitely check it out. It's kind of funny. He's wrote a indictment against the Fulton County DA in the same tone as their indictment against Young Thug. It's actually kind of good. I thought it was good, but I can't make it any larger though. Good gracious. Let's try it like this. It's not much better, Jason. Okay. Yeah, check it out and let them know what you think about it, especially if you're on Twitter. If you frequent Twitter, Black Law Student has been causing a lot of havoc with his commentary on Young Thug, as well as lots of commentary about that. Yeah, this is sad. Like to see, look at it. Oh, he straight punched that woman right in the face. And she said, "No, I'm good." You know, that's sad. That's a whole grown man. That's a dude. She said, "Don't even hold my hand." Man, I hope that dude really regrets that. Yo. You know, this dude. So a random YouTuber puts random things on railroad tracks and records it. Oh my gosh. No way. I'm old enough to remember when we used to believe that a train would like be derailed because of a penny. Wow. You put a bird on the track? What? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yo, people are wild for YouTube clout. Oh, here we go. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this because people have been asking me about this. Let's look at it. Let's go.
You have, Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe Black district attorneys. You've attacked Black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking Black supporters to vote for you, why should Black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the Black population of this country. I've done so much for the Black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for Black workers and Black entrepreneurs. I've done so much. And, you know, and I say this, historically, Black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing. and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something.
Mr.
was
President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
you
it's
to
a
answer the
very
question on
nasty
your
question.
rhetoric and why you
I have
believe that
answered
Black
the
women
question.
trust you with another
I have
years.
been the best president for the Black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson,
my
who signed the
answer.
Voting Rights Act.
For you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace. I really do.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir.
All right. You know what? I want to hear what y'all think about that. I am going to pull up some of the comments. Okay, Terry Green. Shout out to Terry Green. She's been a fantastic contributor to Twitter. Let me read a couple comments, but I want to hear what y'all going to say. So just in the comments right now, in the chat, give me what you think about that. What is your perception of that? Here, let's go and see what the Twitterverse said. I wish he had not gone to this event. Had he not, they would have said he was avoiding them and didn't care about the Black community, blah, 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 blah. But then he goes and they blatantly disrespect him. Such a double standard. Okay. And that is a biblical worldview. It's so obvious that the reporter intentionally set him up. He handled it well. I'm very impressed with how he carried himself during this ambush. Wow. Okay. When was this? It was yesterday. Wow. Okay. He was on point and had many cheers of affirmation. Good job, President. Okay. Well, there we go. I didn't think it was going to go so positively. Sneak attack. Sneak attack. Okay. Let's see what y'all say. All right, good people. Gaslighter Trump at his best. Okay. All right. Thank you, Carlos. Thank you so much. All right, what does bot say over there in Germany? The media are so biased. This woman just wants to get her talking points across. I mean, she does front load the whole thing with a lot of to dig through. So, I mean, it's interesting. I think Trump was great, says Gene. Thank you so much. I am here for it all. I loved his response. Okay. Well, there we go. All right. That's it. Thank y'all. Feel free to chime in as I'm looking for another post. Hopefully my guest will be here shortly. All right. I like this right here. Big Bot says Trump has no fear of getting in front of people with opposing views, which is admirable. Okay, I like it. All right, let's go back. I'm going to go back to Virgil. We did hear Daryl Harris, I think, or was it? It might have been Virgil earlier as well. But I want to just reply here. Let's read J.K. Rowling's response to this assault and battery that is being pawned off as boxing and women's empowerment. Could any picture, oh, that doesn't look good, sorry. Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? The smirk of a male who knows he's protected by a misogynistic sporting establishment, enjoying the distress of a woman he's just punched in the head and whose life ambition he just shattered. Paris 2024. Okay. Virgil says, my only disagreement with J.K. Rowling is that feminism, not misogyny, has contributed to this rise of this issue. People like Simone de Beauvoir, Judith Butler, and John Money have influenced the current contagion of gender dysphoria, leading to harm against women in the name of, in the name of freedom. Paris 2024. Okay. I appreciate it, Virgil. Sync. Virgil is definitely a friend of the channel. Virgil and Daryl Harris do the Just Thinking podcast. Glad to say I've had Virgil on the show several times. All right, what do we got here? All right. So apparently people are swimming in the Paris River, and apparently it's polluted. That's crazy. That is insane. Olympic athletes vomit on live TV after being made to swim in a polluted river at Paris Games. That is crazy. That is, yeah, I did not see that coming. These are the same people that demand respect. I think you're talking about the young lady that ambushed Trump. Okay. All right, y'all. It's dinner time. Okay. Enjoy dinner, Q. All right, what we got? Okay. Looks like some good conversation back and forth. Always good. Always enjoy that. Okay. What do y'all think? This is Kamala Harris in her Canadian high school 2 years prior. And then this is her. Okay, so this is what she looked like when she was in high school. And then this is what she looked like when she was at Howard University. Okay. She definitely, she finding herself for sure. She's experimenting. What's the comment say? The comment says she's beautiful. And this is a copy of her birth certificate, which proves that she is not black. Wow. Okay. All right, let's go. Okay. Pretty interesting. I was waiting for my guest to come through. Oh, there it is right there. Good. Click right there. What in the world? This is not in English, though. That lady doesn't have clothes on at the airport. Holy spicy guacamole. Yeah, I've seen these shooting tournaments at the Olympics. Apparently, they've been pretty wild. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. So the question is by Tom Cotton. The question to Tom Cotton. Tom Cotton is asking the question: why does she serve as vice president for a man that she called a racist and a segregationist? Yikes! Let's see what happens. Let's see what kind of trouble.
Unscripted format about where she stands for this country.
How does her changing her views on her policy justify having the Republican nominee questioning her race? How does that increase or decrease your party's chances of winning in November?
Well, Caitlin, you haven't had that conversation with Kamala Harris because she's been hiding out.
I want to have this conversation with you,
Senator. Just
Senator.
like Joe Biden hid out before her. And my point is, when are you and the rest of the media going to demand that Kamala Harris come out and answer questions in an unscripted format about where she stands for this country, as opposed to continuing to focus on what Donald Trump said today? 4 years ago, Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black. Could you imagine a more insulting comment? Joe Biden is presuming to judge the political views of 1/8 of our fellow citizens based on their skin color. Did you ever ask Kamala Harris to condemn his remarks?
There are
Did you ever ask him or ask her if that was racist?
This is a question. You're a Republican senator, so I want to ask you about the Republican.
Did you ask Caitlin? Did you ask Kamala Harris? Caitlin, did you ask Kamala Harris why she's willing to serve as vice president for a man she essentially called racist and a segregationist? Have you or anyone else in the media asked Kamala Harris those questions, Caitlin?
Senator, trust me, I covered the Biden-Harris White House. We obviously have asked for her to come on, but my...
Okay. Was it Tom Cotton? That's his name? All right, Tom Cotton, I see you, my brother. Good job. All right, that was a good comeback. Let's see, we got Restoring Hero Projects in the building tonight. This race stuff is a smokescreen. For what? Wait, what are we talking about? Athletes should abandon the Olympics and start an opposing sporting event. The Olympics can carry the banner for drag queens and men and women's sports. I told you I don't watch the Olympics. I don't care anything about it. And I'm sure we all have our reasons why, but this is just ridiculous at this point. I feel like I missed something. All right. The political hosts are so smug. Thank you so much. Hey, I got a message. I don't know what it is though. Let's see. Oh, what's it? U.S. basketball? Yeah. Oh. The sentence is amazing. Donald Trump doesn't care about border security, but elect me and I'll fix it. Okay. How does that work? Does she not know she's the vice president right now? All right, let's see. This is a pretty short one. Let's see what they say.
Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself. And when I am president, I will work to actually solve the problem. So here is my pledge to you. Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about
You've not done anything with it now, though. I do wish and hope that people ask that question, like, man, what are you doing about it right now? You're able to, as vice president right now. Let's see what we got. Wow, they are finding every picture in the world. Wow. They are not playing games, so they're going to find you. The internet is undefeated. His punishment should be fighting Mike Tyson in a cage match with the gate locked. I could get, I mean, unequivocally, he should be stripped of the medal. That's for sure. Did he tighten his bottle up? That's what people are saying. Did he tighten the bottle up? Tighten the bottle. This might be the biggest thing, the greatest thing I've ever seen on the internet. I don't know at which point you guys begin to understand that Trump doesn't give. Why does that look like he's loosening the bottle though? I mean, you clearly see him turning it opposite. He's starting it, click, and then tightens it back up. So now it's able to be opened. I don't get what people just want to be outraged about something. They just want to be upset about something. Presbyterians coming home from work, checking Twitter and seeing the funny Baptist winning. Shout out to the Presbyterians. That's hilarious. Oh, by the way, I'm a Presbyterian. All right. I think it's about. Listen, they have some. Twitter is crazy. This is wild too. Like, I didn't realize that was two people. I mean, that's some well coordinated. Man, that's crazy. That is amazing. And that's the part I think is the sad part about the Olympics is that good stuff like that is going to go away because of stuff like this. South Park is crazy, man. So it's bad. So it says here, Harris Faulkner, the Trump bootlicker, tried to get Rachel Scott to shake his hand after belittling her during the dumpster fire interview at the NABJ, and she wasn't having any of it. So shaking somebody's hand, we can't be cordial. So there's one person, she's cordial. She's cordial. She's like, go ahead. And so she chose not to. What does that make you a better person? I don't get it. Okay. I mean, how does that make you a better person? I have no idea. The lack of civility sometimes is just amazing to me. All right. I think that's about everything. That's about it. Yeah, this right here. Shout out to Phil Holloway. Again, a great content creator and friend of the channel. What we got here looks like a lot of stuff going on. Seems like a lot of conversation going on in the chat. What we got? Hopefully, my guess, the rapping Marine falling through shortly. Just thought we'd hang out for a second, kind of clean out the Twitter traps, if you will, and make sure that we're ready to go. All right, let's see. All right, what do we got right here? Lots of good conversation. I see Detox is in the house. Good to see you. All right, so what we got here? Grace and peace, my friend. Thank you so much, Bot, for hanging out with us. You said you're 6 hours behind, so it's like 12 midnight, man. Thank you so much, man. That's what's up. What's going on, Detox? Good to see you. Grace and peace, friend. All right. I heard that Trump may have thought it was his drink. I don't see him doing anything bad, though. He's literally, you see him breaking the seal and re-tightening the cap. That seems like a decent thing to do so somebody can open up the bottle and enjoy it. Like, I don't know what the problem is. But people just want to be offended about something. What is going on? Didn't see a scrape or anything on his ear. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, Gene Lee, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, yes. I mean, it doesn't, if he didn't have a scrape on his ear, I don't know why he does have a scrape on his ear. I'm not even pretending like I even know. What I do know is that, again, people did expire. So why are we making light of that? I don't get it. Oh, okay. All right. Well, appreciate you, Carlos De Niro. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for keeping the comments lively, sir. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. When the smoke clears, as long as those comments are up and moving, I guess we're good to go, my friend. Good to go. Thank you so much. But yeah, I'm waiting for my guest, the Marine rapper, should be falling through momentarily. Hopefully he'll be hopping on in a moment and we can have a good conversation. I thought we had a good opportunity to hear about him, about his, not only about his military service, but about his music. And then of course, hear a little bit about his politics, hear about what he's thinking about these, what's going on in these election streets. Maybe ask him about the Olympics. Whoa. I so don't care about the Olympics, man. I so don't care. I'm like, man, I wish it wasn't just flooding Twitter and social media, but I'm like, whatever, man. It is what it is. All right, let's see. He said he sent me a message, said he'll be there. See you then. And I don't see my brother. Where you at? My guy? All right, let's see. Yeah, we just have to let it go. We'll have to let it go. Yeah, good conversation. We got Ron Barnes. Appreciate you, Ron. Thank you so much. Forget about the water bottle. Start thinking about I agree. Like, why are we worried about something as minuscule as the water bottle? I personally don't think that Kamala's ethnicity matters, actually. She's not a black woman, but maybe we should stop fronting that. Maybe we should stop making identity politics great. If we stop making identity politics the main thing, it wouldn't matter what her ethnicity was. It would matter what her policies were. That's it. But because we've allowed identity politics to rule the roost, now we're in these crazy positions like that. That water bottle. All right. You know, Carlos, this would be dope. And if you want to, how about you stop through? I can drop the link if you would like to. And that would be great because you can help us understand for those people that are asleep as you are accusing them of being asleep. Let me know. I would gladly let you come on. You just have to keep your camera on and keep your language above table. Yeah, that'd be great. What we got right here? Please make sure you hit that like button. I do appreciate each and every one of y'all for hanging out and watching the show with me, having a good conversation. I do appreciate it. Ron, thank you so much for hitting that like button. There we go. And we are good to go, my friend. Good to go. Yeah, this is kind of wild. Like, hey, I dropped the link. Carlos, come. Wait. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll drop the link and we can have a conversation until my guest comes on. That'll be fun. That's for Carlos only. Please, Carlos, make sure your camera is on, please. Oh, my guest is here. We have to hold on tight. All right, let's get this party going. I mentioned to you all before that we were going to have the Marine rapper on. I thought this would be a good conversation to introduce you all to just some different people that are here in these spaces and such like that. And I believe that this will be that rewarding conversation. And I don't see your camera is on. Are you good, my friend? No video. What happened, my brother? I hear you. I'm gonna drop him back and give him an opportunity to get caught up. All right, but as we're waiting for him, let me real quick make sure I have his YouTube page up so we can kind of get an opportunity to find out who this gentleman is. He who is the Marine rapper. Let me give his link as well. Please make sure you check out what he's doing over there. Lots of good content. Fantastic, high energy content that I think you all will enjoy. While he is getting it situated, we played this video the other day and I thought it was actually pretty good. So did I see it? Where'd it go? Wait, how did I find it?
So, former President.
I feel like that one guy inside of the meme, wiping his forehead, sweating profusely because he got to choose and he feeling the heat.
And there's two buttons that's right in the front of him. If I push one of them, change everything. One is for war, one is for peace. So I gotta watch all the words that I speak. Sight! First, I'm done with these idiots. The Secret Service and all of the persons in charge of protecting the citizens. Now there's a father that's wondering, where is his gun? Where is his kid again? Went to a rally, he tried to shoot President Trump. He's no longer living in Thomas. Dummy, trying to be John Wilkes Booth. Now you just John Wilkes Booth. Pronouns was were. Trump looked bulletproof. Trump got shot like the dude, but he went home with his crew. And the dude died on the roof. He fired too far left, no gun control or breath. You ask where I stand, yes, I'm pro-life. He's trans-deaf. He got him a grave. He tried assassinating Trump, but it ain't face him. He got up, fist racing up. Fire. This is for Corey, coveratory. Hero who died, now his family mourning. Promise I'll always be telling your story. Him of the grim reaper, others recording. Taking out all of you wanna be dorky. Shooters who trying to get some of the glory. If they shut up, no, they all coming for me. Cause that Secret Service up. Except that guy with the gun. Should've shot the shooter climbing up. Why's that female in the front? That little girl ain't saving none. Should've cleared that building from the jump. They'd all be fired if I was Trump. Fired. Now that the shooter said, Matthew, I'm asking you, how did your son get the gun out the cabinet? I shit inside of his car and start traveling out to the Trump rally, climb up a canister, load up a magazine racket and have the nerve lasting in rallies. His family's amateur. How did your son ever manage to become one of the dumbest crooks ever on planet Earth? Donald Trump got shot, survived like he 50 cents. Told his squad stop, no, just to raise his fist with it. Blood up on his ear, low, wiped it off, he dripping it. Rolled Up in a black truck, presidential tintin' it.
Hold on. Some reason or another, my screen just froze. All right, sorry about that. My screen just froze. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to give you a chance to kind of get a vibe for our guest, because you might not recognize my guest because he has an epic beard. This beard is amazing. So we might actually have to start off with a little bit of beard conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring to you, add to the stage, the Marine rapper. How are you, my friend? Grace and peace.
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. How you doing?
Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I really do appreciate it. Now, I apologize for any confusion we had in the beginning. So I appreciate you graciously hanging in there with me. Now, as I told you in email, I just said, man, I just wanted to hear your story. First of all, thank you so much for your service as of course, a honored and decorated member of our United States military. So I wanted to hear a little bit about you, maybe a little bit about your story, and then how you got into becoming the Marine rapper. How about that?
Yeah, thank you, bro. As you asked me, I'm good. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Fantastic, sir. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yeah. So, just you want me to just talk about the military part? There's a lot to it.
Oh, hey, give us, you know what? Give us the cliff notes, because maybe we'll take a couple questions tonight.
Yeah,
well,
and then we'll take some questions.
Give it that.
Yeah, let's do that. So I spent 10 years in the United States Marine Corps as a combat correspondent. I served over in Iraq and Afghanistan, basically as a war reporter, doing journalism, taking photos, sending those articles and photos back home to family so they knew what we were doing. So all my life I've been a journalist of sorts. And then once I got out of the Marine Corps, I went to school in LA and I learned how to do music production as well as the music business. And I put both of them together. I said, hey, how can I take journalism and mash it up with my love for hip hop music and rock music and put it together and still do what I'm known to do? And so that's why when you hear me drop songs and things like that, they're always like newsy and fast and quick, because I'm used to the journalism cycle. So all I do is get, the journalism headline, and then I put my own spin on it with my own personal experience. And it's only facts. I can only put factual stuff out there because I'm just used to putting out facts, because I have, there's Marines all across the world. If I was like faking on something about being a Marine or military, you know how it is. People will call you out. If you're faking military or police or whatever, they'll call you out. So I have to be very careful when I even say stuff about my military service, what I did or didn't do, or even the facts, like, the whole unfortunate assassination attempt of Trump, and people died and stuff like that. Like, I had to make sure all the facts were correct, but then you also have to make sure like it's right. And being somebody in media, you got to be quick, but you have to be correct.
I love it. I love it.
So that's how we got to this point here today. And then now I do a lot of reporting on the news, but I do it like my way, and do it fun and kind of add my commentary to it. And I do my reaction to news from my military standpoint. So that's how we got to where we are today.
I love it. I love it. Now, I would love to pick your brain about a whole bunch of things. I see a couple of questions in the chat. If you're interested in conversing with the rapper Marine, please put question, and then whatever your question is. A good, valid question, of course, will be respected, and we're going to bring it up on there. All I ask is that you keep them short and to the point. We're not asking anything crazy and out of pocket. Let's keep it enjoyable. Now, and most of the time, I don't even have to say that. Now, what I do want to hear, though, is in light of where we are in this current culture, can we agree that 2024 has been bananas? Is that fair?
I would say that bananas. There's an orange man. There's bananas. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So everybody has been out of their grape. I can go with all the like entendres.
I love it.
I'm a lyricist by nature, so yeah, it's been crazy, man. It's just like, it's weird because I've been thinking a lot, because I'm always in the news headlines and I've been listening to everybody, and it's kind of like, it's crazy how they're both saying their different rhetorics and stuff. And For example, well, I'll get into it because I know you want to ask me about the white dudes and the black dudes for Kamala and stuff like that. So I'll talk about
you know, we're about to do that.
but yeah, I'll answer it then. But yeah, it's been bananas.
Absolutely, man. I mean, my beard was black at the beginning of 2024. Look what happened, man. So
you're talking about we talking about beards? Oh yeah.
Oh, we can talk beards too, but
yeah,
that might be we'll do that for the after show or something.
Okay, let's do it for after show. Yeah.
But no, like, so as we're looking at 2024, what would be like if you could say maybe what would be like the 3 largest stories or the biggest stories of 2024? And again, this is off the rip. You don't have to be we're not gonna hold you locked in or anything like that. What would you say like some of the wildest stories you've read coming out of 2024?
It would be Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it changed like you couldn't do anything without hearing Not Like Us. Couldn't do anything. Even the churches were redoing it. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I did see that one. I was embarrassed to see it. Yes, I did.
And I it was kind of cringe, kind of corny or whatever, but it just kind of doubled down on the fact that everybody knew what that song was. Everyone.
That's fair.
So I don't feel like there has been a moment or a bigger battle in hip hop. You even heard the legends and the pioneers talking about it. You heard all music talking about it. A lot of times, you know, when it comes to black music, it's contained. It's like, you know, you can talk about it in barbershops, but everybody was talking about the battle because Drake is not just a rapper. Drake's a superstar, and everybody knows that. So if you're battling the superstar, the pop star, who's way bigger than Kendrick Lamar in the public eye, because he has way more, you know, commercial hits. Yeah. Not talking about lyricism, not talking about hip hop. I'm talking about who's the bigger star. It's undeniably Drake. That's a fact. Okay. Even when Kendrick Lamar was dissing Drake, he was saying, you're the star. He's all, you are a star. So, but he did that to take away the wind underneath his sails. Be like, yeah, everybody knows you're a pop star. Everybody knows you got all the awards and the accolades and stuff in the public eye, and you played the politics. But when it comes to this rapping, let me show you what we do. You know what I mean? So it's just like, and then it's crazy. And then Not Like Us was a way that he beat Drake at his own game of coming up with a hit while having a crazy accusation of calling him a PDF file. So, which was wild. So it would be Kendrick Lamar and Drake battle. It would be definitely Trump being shot.
Okay, for sure.
It would be, did the Alec Baldwin thing happen this year? Was it this year? Or
happened it happened the day before Trump got shot. It happened on that Friday.
It would be that.
Really? Okay. Interesting.
Or between that and the YSL trial with Young Thug.
That case is crazy.
So because it's the longest case in Georgia, and it's just for me, Alec Baldwin is bigger because as a gun person, if I hand you a weapon, if I was to hand you a weapon right now, before I hand you that weapon, I'm gonna show you what. Let me show you something real quick. So this is my weapon. This is my weapon right here. Right?
Oh, watch out! YouTube about to get me. YouTube about to get me.
I'm kidding. Really? No. It's a box. It's a box. It's a weapon. So I'm gonna hand you this. I'm gonna hand you this quote unquote weapon, fake weapon. I'm gonna hand you this box. But before I hand you the box, before you can reach your hands out, but I'm not gonna even let you touch it first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on safe. I'm gonna pull back the hammer, look inside, put my finger inside there to make sure there's no bullet, make sure there's no magazine on the bottom. Then I'm gonna slam the hammer back down, and then I'm gonna look you in the eyes, and I'm gonna say clear. I'm gonna hand it to you, and then I'm gonna say you check it. Clear, right?
For sure.
And imagine you're Alec Baldwin about to do the shooting on the fake shooting on the girl or whatever.
Yeah.
At that point, 2 people have just checked it and physically and visually and communicated towards each other. There is no live round in that weapon.
Right.
So for me, the Alec Baldwin case was so big because it's like, how could you be so stupid? You've been on sets, you've seen guns. We've seen Brandon Lee on the set of The Crow. You know, he got killed. All that type of stuff. Why wouldn't anybody check the weapon? And now a woman's dead because of it. You know.
Facts.
So for me, I'm being a gun person. I maybe, but that's for me. But what would you say is the 3 biggest?
Wow. Hey, you're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to. This is not volleyball.
Okay.
You're supposed to be volleyball. Okay, let's see. Okay.
I'm curious.
Okay. I'm just again. I shouldn't have done this to you. I should have my own list ready with my own answer. See, that's what I get. I think what is the tragedy that is known as the 2024 Olympics.
Oh man.
I think this might very well, in my opinion, be the last Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an Olympics fan. I stopped since the '96 Olympics. I was done after that.
What was '96? Was that
Here in
FloJo?
Atlanta.
Was that
Here in
FloJo?
Atlanta.
Was
Yeah,
that
it was here in
FloJo?
Atlanta.
Who was there? Who was it? Track? Because there was, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was? I don't remember.
Who was like the you know? There's always like a star. Like the star of this Olympics is Simone Biles.
Facts. Honestly, I don't remember because I've given up on it. So
Yeah.
I'm done with that. But we can come back to it though. But I do believe that we are watching the end of this idolatrous practice of the Olympics. And I think the hiccups and the foibles that they're having is only going to exacerbate if they came to LA. I think they're in 28, and I think this is probably going to be the last one, and it's going to get really, really bad moving forward from here.
So when you say last one, you mean like people aren't going to watch it after this,
right? I think people are going to wash their hands of it.
Oh, okay.
We're washing their hands of it, and they're going to see a plummeting of. And again, I'm an absolutist, so I do believe that they're going to see a plummeting of the support and the backing and the eyeballs. People are not going to want to watch this. Nobody wants to watch. Before you came on, we were going through Twitter. Nobody wants to watch that. Nobody wants to watch a man beating a woman. What the heck is wrong with you? What's wrong with our society that you're okay? And then to have the audacity to listen to the regulating chair justifying is a man that is trying to justify a man beating a woman in a sport that she had practiced for all her life in order to. That's going to be so anyway, watching that as a train wreck is I think that's one. I know this is weird. The Shannon Sharp Cat Williams interview. If you follow my channel, that was hands down.
He it's like a prophecy of the whole year.
Yeah, he kicked the door. I think it was in February. He kicked the door in for 2024, and I mean, that's what we're watching. And I will say, because I live here in Atlanta, I talk a lot about the Atlanta scene and the things like that. The YSL and the disqualification hearing have definitely been front and center on my channel for sure. And I will give an honorable mention to the election. And I kind of want to get back on track because I know I asked you
in November.
Question. No, the one that's coming in November, right?
Okay,
the one that's coming in November. I think that's going to be a really big story because the recrafting, dare I say, recasting of Kamala Harris. I call it the blackification of Kamala Harris, where they're literally trying to recast her. I'm like, y'all do realize that we know she wasn't popular, right? You do know that, right? We realize that she was putting raisin in her potato salad, right? We know this. We're not inviting her to the cookout.
You said raisin? Oh man, you're killing me. Raisin.
Whatever. I mean, whatever. Shots fired.
You said her curry.
Or curry. She's putting curry or couscous in the potato salad. Like, we know this. We're not inviting her to the cookout. You're not going to convince me that she is now as popular, dare I say, even more popular than Donald Trump. I'm sorry. There's no amount of copium that you're going to trick me into ingesting to believe that. There's no way. It's not possible. So I would say definitely the honorable mention has to be the election coming up because it's such a mental game where you're literally watching people lie to you in 4K. Like, you're literally lying to you right in front of everybody. You're telling me, like, you're lying to me in my face and you're trying to recreate. I did a video yesterday showing how Kamala Harris has not, now sure, she might say she's black, but she's also been very, very vocal about being Indian.
Oh, facts. Asian. They kept Asian.
Right. I'm saying, like, y'all do know that we can read, right? We're not like crazy. We actually can read this. So I think that watching that is just, I mean, it's telling. So those are mine for the year. What
Well,
say about the election?
What they're banking on, and I know you probably heard this saying, because what they're banking on is us not reading and us not being educated. I was told by a very older man when I was going to school in LA for music. He was like, you know what, they're gonna try to kill you. You know that, right? And I said, what are you talking about? They're like, the worst thing in America is an educated black man.
Absolutely.
They don't like educated black men. They don't like it. So that's why they try to label you as, you know, me. I'm very outward and vocal about me being patriotic. So they try to label you as a sellout, Uncle Tom, whatever, so on and so on and so on, because they want to alienate you from your community. And the people who know me, they still rock with me, but it's just like, I've even been told by my homie, he was like, yo, some of my friends be like, yo, why you still hang out with him? This and that. He's doing this or he supports this. He's like, yo, like, what are you talking about? Like, you don't even know him like that. So why are you even going to talk about it? Or it's just hearsay. It's just the different communities try to tell you how to think. It's like, I would get mad at white people trying to tell other white people how to act. I'm just like, why are you trying to get on that white person to act like this? That's why that whole white dudes for Harris bothers me. I'm just like,
I want to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, we could talk about it whenever you need to. But I'm just the whole point of the whole election thing. I just feel like, yes, it will be a big story, like how you said, and YSL will be a big story, because if there's any problem or any loophole or they mess up anywhere, Young Thug's gonna get off. Just how Alec Baldwin got off, because Alec Baldwin got off through a loophole because they did not submit the evidence, that one bullet. They didn't submit it ahead of time, and because they didn't, that's how they got him off. That is why they got him off, and they made it to where he can never be charged on that ever again.
So I've been keeping up with that. And I did pay attention to the Alec Baldwin as well. They violated one of the things about prosecutions and such, like there's a lot of procedures in play. And so when they received that, I don't think it was a loophole. I do think that they deliberately and intentionally did not want to make that evidence available to the defense. No, I think the way the judge read it is exactly what happened. They did that on purpose.
Whoa.
Now they used we put it under a different name. I think we put it under the file of the armorer's name.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they did it on purpose. I'm gonna jump back to the YSL because I find that one very, very interesting because I'm looking at, and I keep telling, I don't like the political optic game and the racial optic game, but let's just tell the truth, shame the devil. You have a whole group of black men who, no, I necessarily would not hang out with them. I couldn't tell you a Young Thug song from a Kendrick Lamar song. I don't know any of them. Okay. But I don't want, and people are like, well, he cross dresses and he misrepresents God and he doesn't. I said, you're 100% correct. You are correct. However, the judicial system here that we live in requires that you have to be found guilty without a shadow of a doubt. And the way and how messy and how sloppy the Fulton County DA's office is moving, it causes you to really wonder and look at them side-eyed about other cases that they've done. So there is another big case that Fonnie Willis, the DA of Fulton County, has on her plate. And isn't it kind of serendipitous that case also has run into a slew of problems? So as we're looking at these, and I want people to be honest about it. Say, hey, no, again, I've said it multiple times. I'm a pre-K law student. I don't know anything. I know nothing. All I know is I can read. I have a pretty decent comprehension skill. And I can read things and I can see what I'm seeing on TV. I can tell you what doesn't make sense. That don't make sense that after 9 months, nobody knows who did a crime. As a matter of fact, after 9 months, nobody can tell you what the crime is that the state has proven up to today.
Wow.
So I've said it before. I'm going to do it again. I think tomorrow she's going to declare a mistrial.
Wow. Really?
And because the missteps are gross. They're not just, they're blatant. And I've been talking about it on my channel. I said, her name is Whitaker. Judge Whitaker has cleared out pretty much the only motions that she has yet to judge on are the 3 mistrial motions. She threw out the bond motion. She threw out the fair trial motion. She threw out the calling the former judge motion. You know why?
Why?
Because you don't need to worry about witnesses. You don't need to worry about bond, and you don't need to worry about a fair trial. When I mistrial you, y'all about to go to the crib. You're about to take it to the house. So, and I could be wrong. I'm pleased to be wrong because the case is fantastic. It is must see TV, but it's so gross. And I'm saying we should want our legal system, especially in America, when we say all these horrible things about America, we should be willing to say, hey, this needs to at least work, at least one area. We are holding their feet to the fire. and not allowing them to just be willy-nilly and just use these black men as stepping stones for your next role. Because I even laid out where I think why they were doing it. Like I believe Fonnie Willis is trying to go this way, the prosecution is trying to move up this way, so on and so forth. And because of their poor handling of the case, they all gonna be getting sent home. They all gonna be fishing after tomorrow or sometime next week. So that's my
I agree with you. I feel like certain people take certain assignments so they can get another assignment. So Kamala was playing caretaker so she could get another assignment.
Yeah,
and you heard it on the phone. It's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Barry. Oh, Michelle, thank you so much. I'm like, what type of fake call was that? I'm just like, what? Everybody know who the real puppet master is.
For sure.
Everybody know who the puppet master is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone knows. And if you guys don't know, it's Barry. Everybody know who the puppet master is. It was so fake. I believe that they've been planning this since 2012 to 2016, trying to continue this long dynasty. And it was like, if you do this assignment, you get this assignment. If you do this assignment, you get this assignment. If you wipe his mouth and say he got COVID and went to Delaware and eating ice cream, double chocolate chip out there on the beach, we will select you as president. And it was so crazy. I don't know. Did you see the BLM thing?
Yeah.
BLM was like, what is going on? We didn't pick her. We don't want her. We don't have nothing against no other black folk. We want some black folks up in there, but we did not pick her. We want somebody. We want to go through the democratic process. We want a real primary. They said they wanted a virtual snap primary before this situation. And so like her coworkers don't even like her. Kamala's coworkers don't even like her. She has a 92% turnover rate. 8% of her employees only stayed.
Facts.
So it's like you have to study up on everything because they come after you, so you have to know everything. So I have to know every little piece and part. But like the thing is it's so crazy how people get these assignments and they get these bennies and these benefits and stuff like that because they had these assignments and they're leapfrogging people and they're using people like Young Thug and all these other people as pawns to hop and leapfrog and step on these black men, how you're saying, so they can get up to these other positions. It's bigger than just the YSL case, like how you're saying. Fannie wants to be in a certain place. Kamala wanted to be in a certain place. This is not new. It's been happening. They just said, hey, you do this, you do this, you do this, you get that. That's what's happening. So I just totally agree with you on that one. But it's so ridiculous. They're doing it right in front of our face, and people are worrying about Megan Thee Stallion is twerking. Hold up, there's a bigger picture.
Well, okay. Now, my pushback for Megan Thee Stallion is every election cycle, the Democrats show exactly the low view that they have for the highly melanated voter. So go back to Hillary with her fake Southern drawl, and she happened to have hot sauce in her purse.
She got.
Then you had Joe doing the interview with Cardi B, interviewing with the Breakfast Club, and the infamous if you don't know if you're gonna vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
And now we got this foolishness. They don't do that. They don't do that for white people. That's the thing I don't get. I'm like, you don't see them going to the Asian community asking for fried rice and wings.
No,
you don't see them doing that. You don't see them doing Bollywood to endear the Indian community.
Nope.
Why do they only do that for black people? Because they think that you're stupid. That's it. So yeah, they bring Megan out and Quavo and all these other fools, but policies be whatever. And again, this is why they keep. That's what I hate to say. I actually agree with Black Lives Matters.
I do too.
And I'm like, you're not actually saying what you're going to do policy wise that will benefit. And I don't think you issue policies for one people group. If you do a policy for one people group, that's dishonest to the other people. The policies that should benefit all people. Closing the border actually benefits all of America. Now you can couch it and say, hey, black people will benefit from me closing the border, but it's really going to help everybody. But if you say you're going to do something only for black people, it will be an injustice to other people. But nobody's even asking about policy. They're busy worrying about whether or not Meg Thee Stallion should have been there. Besides, the fact that you actually have to ask that is already problematic. But I digress.
And then you saw people leaving when she started speaking because nobody wants to listen to her because she just talks in circles. And it's, have you ever did something, say you ran a mile, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ran a mile, you're like, wow, I can do a mile. And then, you know, somebody says, oh, you can run a mile. That's great. You're just going to keep on running this mile. You're doing good. You're running a mile. You're great. But then you're like, wait a minute, can I run 2 miles? And then you ran 2 miles. You're like, wow, I can do it. But see, the thing is, what's happening here is they're not telling us, and when I say us, I mean the Black community, because that's who they're targeting. They're not telling us that we can run 2 miles. They're saying, oh, here, you can run 1 mile. Good for you. Come on. Yeah, good for you. They're limiting us. They're putting a glass ceiling. They're saying we're breaking the glass ceiling because Kamala's Black, which is a whole nother thing. But they're putting another glass ceiling on us and saying we can only do this, or we can only think like this, and we can only communicate like this. They're dropping us lower. You know what I mean? Yep. With pun intended, dropping us low, and having Megan Thee Stallion twerk, and they have Quavo there and stuff like that. It's just like, that's what you think of us? You really think we're that stupid? You don't think that we can read? It's crazy because a lot of the Black community, I would actually think, that didn't read all of what BLM said in their statement. I read the whole thing. I did a whole story on my page on my channel. I read the whole thing. It was, I don't know, 4,000 words or whatever, but I read it, and they said, hey, listen, we're not bashing no Black candidate or anything like that, because we do want to have people of color in the in government and in these positions, but this is not right. You are just giving it to somebody. It's like, if it's like this, like, you know, say you just showed up to a place and they gave you a cake, and, you know, like, wow, I got to eat some cake or whatever. But the opposite is, say I worked hard all day, and then I showed up and they rewarded me with the cake. I'm done with all of this participation trophy culture, because that is what it is. I hate it. You know, even that's why, like, you know, people go, oh, reparations and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, it kind of sounds nice. But then I go into the native and the tribal. Have you ever been in the native and the tribal reservations? And they gave them they have reparations.
Right.
But then I see all the issues that plague them: alcoholism, domestic abuse, and all that, because they get these checks and they don't have anything to aspire to, because they're going to get paid for by the government already. So that kind of turns me off to the reparations and all these different things, because it's like, oh, why would we want to further push Black people down and say we can only do this amount of stuff? I'm not saying that there aren't people who deserve certain things, because they do, and there's certain things that I feel like does need to be allocated to certain people. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that there's this culture of participation trophy, and there's culture of, like, even if you're not on welfare, they still want to keep us on some sort of welfare and keep us down. They want to keep us lower, and they don't want us to achieve higher levels. And if we don't believe that we can achieve more, if we don't believe that we can reach higher and become astronauts, become mathematicians, and that our history isn't there, and that we aren't smart, we aren't going to be achieving these things. That's why you're like, oh wow, why was there Black Wall Street? Why did we dress so fly in the 50s? It's because we always strive to be better and dress the best and look the best and act the best. But now all you have as examples for our youth is Megan Thee Stallion, is Quavo. Was there people who were like comedians and entertainers and people like that back in the day? Absolutely, there was. But I just don't understand how we're limited to just that. That's the thing. That's what I'm caught up on.
I appreciate that, man. No, that was very good. That was on spot on the money.
I went off on a rant, but that's what I feel about it. It's just it's they're limiting us. That's what I'm saying.
And because they don't see us doing anything better, and so therein is our. But at the end of the day, this is an issue that the highly melanated crowd must push back against. The fact that you allow, like, how in the world are you allowing Megan Thee Stallion to be a representative of us here in Atlanta? Because she's not going to pull out some trash rapper when she goes up to Martha's Vineyard. So why in the world would y'all even allow that? Now, granted, if you want to support her, that's what you're going to do. But why would you even run behind her and be like, yeah, because you're going to change the narrative. You're going to change the story in order to make it make sense. Because inside you're like, this is kind of weird. Like, how are we doing this? But I digress. So no, that was good, man. Thank you so much. All right, we got some questions. Let me get these questions out of the way.
For sure.
All right, we had one more that I had, but I think these are some better ones. Just a real quick comment. Seek Your Truth says, the Marine rapper, you inspired me to join the Corps.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I'm very honored when people tell me that, because you know us, we're like in the studio or creating media and broadcasting and streaming, or I'm making music too and stuff. And when people say that, it really means a lot, because I was in the Marine Corps dreaming of that moment, that I could motivate somebody else to do those things. So it kind of got me emotional. Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's dope. That's dope. Hey, how much do you think mainstream media and executives, I guess, in music have on who is the biggest star? Radio, playlist, playtime, and such like that. What are your thoughts on that?
What do you mean in particular? I have an answer for that, but what do you mean specifically?
Let's go with the bigger musicians today. The biggest musicians today. How much do you think that mainstream media, and I don't even know who the biggest musicians are today, but mainstream media and record label executives played in them becoming the biggest that they are today?
It's a huge role, because let's use Beyonce for an example. Okay. Beyonce wrote this last country album over the last 5-6 years.
Okay.
That's what she said. So in order to make it pop, she knew that people are going to be super energized to back somebody that was black in the election. She knew this was coming up. That's why she did the music for Kamala for her ad. I don't know if you saw the Kamala ad. The song is called Freedom. It's Freedom. And she did that. But in order to drop her country album, she wanted to have the biggest impact as much as possible. So what she did was she started to recruit and started to mentor a lot of these younger country artists like Shabuzi. You heard of him?
Okay. No, I'm understanding. I'm like, wait, so she's mentoring country artists?
Yes. So
interesting.
So they already had things going on. So I'm not saying that there wasn't people like Brittany Spencer and Tanner Adele and Shabuzi and all these other black country artists that had something going on. It's not like they didn't have something going on. They had something going on, but they were like, hey, how can we turn it up on you? You know what I mean? Hey, I'm about to drop a country album, but you guys hold off on your records. I'm gonna build the Avengers really quick, and then when I drop my album, then you guys are gonna drop singles afterwards. And then also everything's gonna be supercharged as well, because within that country album, I'm going to have political content. And she did, because the thing is with music, I listen to it. So basically, the way I perceive that question is, does the industry decide who pops and who doesn't? Absolutely.
That's what I think
absolutely they do.
Okay.
The big dogs do. So it's Beyonce, it's Charlie XCX, it's a lot of those like Taylor Swift. It's the Taylor Swifts of the world, it's the Drakes of the world. So if Drake pushes the button on the Migos, they pop. What happened? He pushed the button on Versace for the Migos back in the day. He pushed the button, what happened? Boom. Rich the Kid, Kanye went, boom, let me push the button. You know,
okay.
Diddy was pushing a whole bunch of buttons.
He was pushing the wrong buttons. He was pushing the wrong buttons.
He was pushing the wrong at the same time, which messed it up. But the thing is I'm not saying what he didn't do, what he did wasn't wrong, but he had some connections to where he wasn't get told on because he had dirt on them. That's why he had so many cameras and things like that. So to answer your question, yes, there are people in the industry who push the buttons, the big dogs, the Dre's, it was formerly Diddy. It's the Timberlands, they push buttons, Swiss Beats push buttons. Because you see, what's her name? Scarlett. She's like a female DMX. You know Scarlett?
Yep. Yes.
Scarlett, her button was pushed. You know, so yes, that does happen. I see it. I've there's a girl named Snow Allegra. I met her in LA, I would say 2 to 3 years before she popped. And then one of my buddies was like, yeah, she's going to be the next star. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then that's when I was hanging out in LA, I started to realize that certain people are groomed to be stars because they go, okay, you're pretty, but you need to know how to sing. They started doing this earliest I could think is Beatles, because Beatles suck when they first came out. Then they said, go away for 2 years, learn the guitar. You guys are heartthrobs. You guys are handsome. They're going to love you, but you need to go away and learn how to play instruments. They went away and they came back and they started killing it. You know what I mean? So
Nice.
that's what
Okay.
started to happen. So same with Michael Jackson. There's just been people who they push the buttons. For example, Elvis, they're like, Elvis, we're going to push the button on with you, but you need a hit. Is there? And then they said, okay, let me get with these songwriters. And hey, sorry, Big Mama Thornton, I know this is your song, but we need to push the button on somebody else. So we're going to pull that hound dog from you and we're going to give it to this white boy because they know that they will be able to perceive the blues music better from this white guy. That's what happened. Like,
no,
so the
I've
industry
never taken the time to think about it.
They push buttons like that. So that person who's answered that question, yes, it exists. And absolutely. Yes.
No,
So,
that's dope. Appreciate it, man. Okay, real quick, let me get these. Everybody wants to know how we met. We literally just met.
It's the beard. We have a beard connection.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely. We literally just met a few moments ago. Y'all were here with us.
So when he pushed the button, that's when we met. I have never met him ever.
No. No. So yeah, that's when we met.
It's like a thing. It's like a thing. You know, when you're in the grocery store, barber shop, or whatever, we just be like, it's just a thing.
It's just a thing. So yeah. No, I'm glad you're enjoying the conversation. Seek the truth. I also want to say thank you so much to Jean. Thank you so much for blessing 5 people with memberships to DWC. Appreciate it. Now, I like to say, now, if she's giving you this membership, please make sure that you say thank you to Jean Lee. Just let her know. If you received a membership, let her know. Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jean. Thank you for blessing everybody like that. Now, let's keep this game going. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Vance went to the border today. So what's your thoughts on that? I see you have a video on it. Looks like you put about the whole interview or him there at the whole presser. What are your thoughts?
Good. I just like action.
Okay.
Good. No, because he said, hey, it's not that hard to go to the border. Kamala could have done this. And I just came down here, talked to the ranchers and saw what was going on and asked you your problem. And then how can I fix it? It's literally like how you said, 1 + 1 = 2.
I'm trying to tell you. I did a theory during the RNC. I said, I guarantee you I can show you how Trump could win. He just literally does a press conference from the border every single week.
Wow.
Or every day. Literally just does a presser. Between him and Vance and maybe some other people. And literally in the background, you see people trying to cross the Rio Grande. You see the coyotes running. I mean, you need to be able to let people see everything. And you just do pressers from there all the time. There's no way they're gonna win. I do think that the RNC watches my channel. Shout out to the RNC, because I said early on in this election cycle, I said, all you gotta do, I guarantee a way to win. Do a press conference from the Quick Trip or the racetrack or the Shell gas station with that big number board behind you that says, summa cum laude gas price numbers. That's what they need to see. That's what people need to see. And that's all you do. Or you go to the grocery store, you stand in the bread aisle, you stand in the milk aisle, you stand in the egg aisle, and you just do your press conference literally from the grocery store, coming to you live from aisle 8. Do you know during the RNC, they actually did that? They actually did that. They went to grocery stores and talked to people about prices during Trump and what prices are now. And then they did it at a gas station. I said, y'all are wild. I said, but shout out to you. So I think those type of things where you literally get in the weeds and show people this is what's really happening, because the news media can't sugarcoat that.
No,
they can't make it something different. When you see people trying to smuggle their way in the back, when you see the prices of gas in the back, when you see the price of bread and eggs and milk and such, you can't change that.
No.
You can't. That's right there in front of you. And you just make them answer for it. Make Kamala answer. What are you going to do about the border? He should do this all the time.
And over and over again. And I also saw a journalist in Chicago. He said, you guys can say what you want about Trump, because and you know how it is, how black men are all sensitive about black women and their mothers and things like that. So, there was kind of like some outrage a little bit how he responded to the journalist when he was welcomed onto the stage. And so the journalist said, hey, listen, I get what you're saying, but he went into a hostile enemy territory and he answered all their questions. She opened up the dialogue, not even saying, hello, how you doing? Nothing. He said it too. He said, you didn't even say hello, how I'm doing. You're being nasty. He's like, I came here to answer your questions. He had a rally. He was flying to PA later that evening And
Yeah.
instead of just being in PA, he went to Chicago just to do that speaking engagement at the NABJ to talk to the black journalists and be like, listen, I'm trying to solve your problems. I know you guys have a whole bunch of issues, but you're being nasty to me, and I'm going to answer your questions, but you're straight up being nasty. Your sound equipment sucks. You were 35 minutes late, and then you guys are looking at me like I'm the bad guy, and you're asking me, is Kamala black or not? He said, ask her. I don't know. She was saying she was Indian, and is she black? But you guys are being offended by it. But it was it's words coming out of Kamala's mouth, and literally she just did a man, I forget that girl. She's a very famous Indian girl. She has a show. She's a comedian. She's really dark. Mimi or starts with the M. But anyway, she has a show, and Kamala was cooking with her. And she
I did the video. Yeah, I had that video.
That video. And she said, Kamala, what, you're Indian, right? And she said, yeah.
Yeah.
So being being black, I know you know this. If you black and white, you don't say I'm white. You don't say you're black. Usually you say what? I'm mixed. Like everybody knows. Like everybody knows that. So why didn't she say I'm mixed?
Because
she's not. But everybody knows. Why didn't she say she mixed? Because she's not really proud of it. She must not be. And you know what? Trump said that. He said it's the disgrace and it is a disservice to both her races because she's not associating with it. She just associates with it when it's convenient for her to get the next assignment. And people are mad because a white man is saying it, but he's right.
He wasn't lying. Right.
He wasn't lying. And then a black journalist got on Chicago News after that, and he said, hey, listen, you guys are caught up on like what he said and how Trump had to respond, but he is right. They treated him like dirt, and he responded. He answered all the questions, and he went into enemy territory, and Kamala didn't even show up. She said, can I vid chat in? He said, no.
Right. So
Kamala didn't make it a priority on her schedule, but Trump did, and he didn't have to. He's doggone 80 years old. He flew to Chicago and did the rally in the evening. So you can think what you want, but he's showing action. So if people could be like, oh, what do you think? I just like action. I want to see people do stuff. I'm tired of the talk. It was cute. Yeah, we had Obama and stuff like that. But like, where's the action for the black people? Because the journalist that lives in Chicago said, hey, us black folks are having a problem with the migrants that are coming in the area because they are messing it up for black Chicagoans.
For sure. No, I love it, man. Thank you so much for that. Now, another question. How effective do you think the mainstream media, I just said, no, yeah, the mainstream media's remake will be in the black community. Mainstream media's remake will be in the black community. Is there pressure for diehard Democrats in inner city? I think what he's trying to say, I think what Love America is saying is there any pressure from the mainstream media to see the inner city improve, or is it just business as usual, keep it like it is?
They want to keep it how it is.
Yeah, there's no benefit in making a change, because I mean there could be a smooth and simple change, something as simple as changing welfare in the welfare system, period, to incentivize husbands and wives staying together. Something as simple as incentivizing men and women to stay together and de-incentivize women to file for divorce from their husbands. That right there would be a night and day change.
But when was the black community the strongest?
When we had strong families in like the 30s.
but they know that.
Yeah.
They know that. They know the black community is dangerous if we build up and we stay together. That's my gripe with BLM. That's one of the things I had a problem with BLM, because one, aside from Patrice Cullors embezzling money and doing a whole bunch of stuff, that's another thing. But aside from that, was they're trying to destruct the nuclear family.
That's what they said.
And so anything that's trying to destruct the nuclear family and marriage and all of that type of stuff, I'm not about, Facts. So people are like, oh, why you have a problem with this? I'm just like, I'm not going to just go with the wave or whatever. I'm going to read. I'm going to find out about it. I'm going to see what they're trying to do. I'm going to see, hey, is it trying to break up the black family? Is it trying to push black folks down lower than they were? Like, it's not cute that I just see somebody who is talking about, we want to what do you call it? They're talking about they call it reproductive rights. It's like, okay, so yep. So you have somebody who's promoting to kill more black babies, and we already have an issue of that.
Facts.
And you have somebody who disrespects black women and beat up a black woman, Quavo.
Okay.
You have all these people who it's documented.
Yeah.
Who keeps doing these things, but these are your heroes? Like how they say in Black Panther. They go, "Is this your king?"
Right.
Is this your king?
This
this is our king. This is what you think of us. You think this is all we amount to. It's insulting. You really think this is good enough? I just don't think it's good enough. So I get passionate about it because they just think, oh, let me just throw them a little bit money here, a little bit money there, an abortion right here, a little bit of stimulus check here. As long as we keep the black folks quiet, we'll be all right. And then we could do whatever we want to do on the higher levels, or let's throw some racism in the mix and have the black folks argue or blame some other white folks that have nothing to do with it so they can be distracted so the elites can climb up higher. Because the thing is, in the journalism world,
okay,
if it bleeds, it leads.
Facts.
So why would I want black folks to succeed? You know what I mean? I want black folks to fight. I want them to argue. I want them to have violence. I want to see all of this so I can put it on the news, and I want everybody to argue, and I want them to point fingers at people who don't have anything to do with it. That way I have more news and I can line my pockets. That's how they're thinking. So the mainstream media does not want the black community to succeed, because if it doesn't bleed, it doesn't lead. And if we succeed, there will be no news and there's no money coming in. The thing is they don't realize that this whole system is set up to keep us black folks as slaves still. Right. It's like, okay, I can't get money from that. I'm gonna get money from this. Okay, the black folks was making too much money off of CDs and records. Okay, let me put them on streaming. And now all the big top record execs, they're making the most money. And then we are slaves to the systems because all that advance, guess what, buddy? Yeah, you think you're a big time rapper? Guess what that advance is? That is just a loan. I still own you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they don't understand. People don't understand the mainstream media and the entertainment industry. They still own black folks and they want us to still keep tap dancing. And so, yes, they do not want black communities, black folks, impoverished folks, people in hoods to come up. They don't want to do any change. They want us to be stagnant and on idle. So I know I added a lot to that answer, but that's good. But that's what it is. That why would you want black folks to succeed? You want them to kill each other so I can sell more records.
Right.
So I could sell more movies. So I could feed the prison systems. So you guys can complain about paying for them in taxes and stuff like that and be distracted so the elites can come up. That's what happens. We're like black folks is so embedded in the system, far as like, man, America monetizes black people.
For sure.
That's it.
I think to continue on that point, I think they realize that you can utilize the black community to push any agenda that they feel like they can insert into the community. So for example, the deletion of little people, like you literally have black people cheering and celebrating the right to delete little people, to the point now in some major cities, they're past the black and brown people are now past the point of replacement. So there's not enough black babies being born to replace the black adults that are passing away. So, but they got you out here literally celebrating doing away with your child. And so they realize that they can get any kind of, so all they got to do is just push this. And so you realize that Kamala is literally running on the platform of deleting little babies when she herself has never carried a child to term. So I know, shots fired. I know.
That's her main policy.
Right. That's her main policy. So when I say the Democrat Party is the party of death, that's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Like they're literally platform, like their planks of their platform, Marine, are abortion, sexual confusion, sexual mutilation, and euthanasia. And now it would almost be laughable to say that you got black people campaigning for a policy for a known racist. Wouldn't that sound crazy if I told you that? If I
Yeah.
said, man, there's black folk out here politicking and campaigning and marching for the policies of a known racist who hated black people. They got black people marching for that policy. Wouldn't that be crazy? You would think I was making it up, wouldn't you?
Yep.
But I just described Margaret Sanger to you. And she hated minorities. She hated the infirm. She hated anybody she saw lesser than. That's where Planned Parenthood came from. And so these kind of things like this that you engage with people, and you're like, man. So I do think that there are people who realize that black folk will push just about anything.
Wow.
All you got to do is get it into their culture, get them to think about it as a benefit for them, and we'll push it. What do you need us to do? We'll push it. And it's crazy because I'm like, is there's no thought. I'm actually surprised how many people are saying they want to hold Kamala's feet to the fire about what is she going to give us. I don't like that, but at least I'm surprised that people even asking it.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all have had so many years of people promising you and then forgetting you the day they get into office. At least now y'all saying something. So who knows? Maybe y'all are serious this time. But those are just my little points on it. So.
Yeah, it's true. People aren't reading. People aren't looking at history. They're not seeing that. That we're like, shout out to Nas, that we were kings and queens. They're not seeing that. And if you believe manifestation and belief in self and self-confidence and security within yourself is so huge. If you believe you're a king, you're not going to operate like a pauper. You just wouldn't. If you believe you're great, you're gonna operate like you're great. If you believe you're a hot girl, you're gonna act like a hot girl. You know what I mean? That's how you're gonna act. And that's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, you're a hot girl. You're the newest thing with Charlie XCX said that Kamala is a brat. You know, all the different new terms and stuff like that. And it's just like, what's the policy though? I hear what you're saying. It's cool and it's cute and stuff, but like, is everybody like not there? It seems like their brain's not there. It's like Idiocracy with Terry Crews, that movie with the South Park guys. Yeah. It's just like no one's paying attention. I'm like, you guys aren't paying attention. No one's paying attention. This would happen. And the black communities are just settling for crumbs. They're like, oh, they're giving us crumbs. Okay, cool. Because we're so hungry for something and we want somebody to pay us attention. And they're like, oh, I'll pay you attention. But, you know, you have somebody else is like, no, I want you to work for it. I want to give you a job, but I want you to work for it. I want to just give it to you, you know? So it's like Trump was saying, I'm going to make sure that you're able to buy a house and everything's going to be cheaper and stuff like that. But we got to all roll up our sleeves and, you know, get to work and stuff like that. But like, I've never been the one who likes really a handout because I've had both. I've had where somebody gave me something, like I told you earlier, somebody gave me something. And then when I worked all day for it and I got my check and I was like, man, that felt good. Because I know I earned it. In the Marines, I don't know if you know the Marine saying, it's called earn, never given. Yeah, you can't accidentally fall into being a Marine. Like, you know what I mean? You can't do it. Like they won't let you do it. They won't let you do it. Like you don't graduate boot camp. Like we have to go through this whole thing. We don't even get our it's called the EGA. It's like an eagle. I don't know if you've ever seen it on our uniform. It's like eagle with the globe. You know, you're familiar?
Yep, I'm familiar.
The EGA. Are you military, by the way?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, but it's called the eagle, globe, and anchor. And we get it after we've been through the rifle training and hiking and all that other stuff, and we learn how to do Marine Corps tactics. Then they give us that symbol and says, now you have earned it. And it feels so much better than if I just put the uniform on. So like, that's why a lot of military are like mad at people who are doing the stolen valor or faking that whole thing. But yeah, it's very unsettling that they just want to kill us off. They want to treat us like crap, and they want to keep us down and have us forget about our history and keep separating us and destructing the family. It just has me in a very a bad place. It's like no one knows about Margaret Sanger. I need to go out on the street. We should go out on our different respective towns and go on the street and be like, hey, do you know who Margaret Sanger is in front of Planned Parenthood? Hey, do you know who Margaret Sanger?
I did a 2-book, I think I did a 3-book review series on Margaret Sanger, And I was doing really petty stuff, like on her birthday, I would post on Twitter, like, are y'all celebrating Margaret Sanger's birthday today? And really petty stuff like that. Cause I'm
Yeah.
like, people don't even know. People have taken no time to look into this very wicked woman. But it is what it is. I think, I think they know that they're deliberately and intentionally being blind and being marched right into the mall. But at the end of the day, it won't be because of me, because they made that decision to remain ignorant when the information is literally right in front of them. Let me get this last one. We're going to get ready to get you up out of here. Are the Marine Corps officers as woke as other branches of the military?
The military isn't woke. Like as a whole, the military is not woke.
Okay.
It's unfortunately with the rise of social media and different and more access to certain individuals, it seems like that. There's always been gay people in the military. There's always been people who are liberal, who are conservatives. It's always been like that.
Got it.
They're just trying to amplify it. But for the most part, I could tell you that for the most part, the Marine Corps is way more hardcore than a lot of different other services, because the Marine Corps, it's based off of your physical fitness and your appearance. So you can't get promoted if you don't pass the physical fitness test, if you don't look good in the uniform, if you don't show up and you don't do your duties. It's impossible to get promoted because you have to fit your uniform, and in order to fit your uniform, you have to be in shape.
Got you.
So it's all tied together. So it's like an impossible thing. Now, as far as people being liberal in the Marine Corps, absolutely, yeah. There's gay, lesbian, there's religious people. Like I actually served with this guy. He's a religious personnel. I don't know if you know about religious personnel and chaplains overseas, what they do. Have you heard of them?
No, tell me about it.
Yeah, I bet you'll love this one. So as a combat journalist, I was attached to the infantry, and so was the religious personnel was attached, and so was the chaplain, and so is the corpsman and the medic and all them. So if you're not infantry, you're an attachment, basically, was what I'm saying.
Okay.
So because I was one of the attachments and I was alone, I would hang out with they're called the RP, or religious personnel. So what they did is they protected the chaplain, because the chaplain is a non-combatant. The chaplain's not fighting, right? So the religious personnel is the person who has the rifle or the pistol, who, if somebody tries to come after the chaplain, his job is basically a bodyguard and supposed to eliminate or neutralize the threat that's coming after the chaplain.
Okay.
So I would be with them and stuff like that. And it was crazy. I came to a crossroads, and my first deployment to Iraq, and I was just like, yeah, chaplain, I'm kind of like feeling a type of way, because I feel like I'm being bad, being over here, being a troop. And he's like, well, there's a difference between murder and killing.
Right.
And so he broke that down for me. And when he did, like, it put a lot of comfort in my heart. I actually had, like, we have these like little pocket Bibles, like about this big. And then we have like a breast pocket, like the size of your breast pocket, if you're wearing like, a button down dress shirt.
Fact.
But with the thing, but we would have it right there. It's crazy. I would have the pocket Bible underneath my bulletproof vest, like how I had on Trump Shot.
Yep.
It looked just like that, but then I had the Bible underneath, and it was just crazy that I was living like that duality of sorts. I felt like I was living out like Ephesians 6:12. Gotcha. I felt like that's one of my favorite scriptures there, because I felt like actually physically, spiritually, emotionally living that out in Iraq. But I bring up that story is because that was one of my turning points in like strengthening my faith, and also strengthening my me physically, emotionally, and spiritually overseas when I needed it most. Gotcha. And it was just a great moment. I just want to tell you that story because I feel like you would appreciate that. And then the chaplain, he had a coffee shop, and guess what the name of that coffee shop was? I'm gonna see if you can guess it.
Okay, where was it? Is it stateside or abroad? It's
over in Iraq, but it's a religious sounding name.
Is it Hebrews?
Yes, Hebrews.
I figured as much. When you said Iraq, that settled it. I was like, it's Hebrews.
So yeah, it was dope. It was just dope to have somebody that was over there who actually had balance, because there was so much aggression
Yeah, for sure.
And we had to be in a certain mindset. You know, if you're in war, you have to be in a certain mindset, but then you also need some type of like release or emotional balance, you know?
Right. Most certainly. Absolutely. That is what's up, man. Thank you so much for your story, man. I appreciate it. Now, if you don't mind, can you tell us what you have going on? You have any projects coming up, or what do we need to go? And the moderators are dropping your links
Oh, I
in the
see 'em,
chat.
yeah.
So, is there any projects you have going on? Like, hey, go check out this, or I'll be doing this on this day. Anything new coming up that we should be aware of?
Well, I record like little news snippets every single day. I do that every single day. If there's like a rally or whatever, we have watch parties every single day. Not every single day, but whenever the rallies are.
For sure.
And like my songs, I just drop them when I need to. Like,
okay.
Because the thing is like I want to be able to drop something that's going to stand the test of time, that's going to age well.
Yep.
You know, so like when you listen to Trump Shot, it makes sense because now those questions that I posed are making sense as far as about the Secret Service and
oh my gosh,
and Corey and the kid's father and all of those questions that I was posing was questions that I wanted to last for a long time. And so I drop music when I need to or whatever, but if I do, it's going to be on a Friday and I let people know and stuff like that. But like, if you want to support me, all my handles are at the Marine Rapper, and I definitely want to get you. I want to talk with you either on your channel or on my channel about like more so on the music and maybe most likely the YSL case, because that's kind of like the cross section, you know, the Atlanta and then the music. That's our worlds crossing.
I love it.
So maybe I can get you on my channel as well, because I want to introduce you. I want you to introduce you to people on my channel and everything, because they would love you. They love beards, you know. They love music, you know. I mean, and I have a lot of faith-based people there as well, so that would be great to get you out there.
And consider it done. We'll line it up. But please, because Gene did ask this question.
What'd she say?
And Gene has been a supporter of the channel for a long time, so we got to make sure Gene gets his question answered. Please ask where he got that jacket from. All right.
So there's various versions of this jacket. You can get it from like Amazon or whatever, but I got it as a gift. But I wear it because it's very old. It's like 4 years old since 2019, 2020. I was actually at Jan 6, not at the actual.
Brother, we don't want you to go dark, man. We want you to go dark. All of a sudden, we'd be like, whoa, what happened to him?
No, not at the actual like whatever, but it was a Veterans for Trump event. So I was performing for like Vietnam vets, and we were rapping. I have a song called "The Patriot," and it got number one on the Billboard charts, and it beat out Mariah Carey and everything.
Nice.
But,
okay.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it's called "The Patriot." And so I have a picture of it, and I'll do a whole story on my page and stuff. I have a picture of it, and a whole group of people that I was with. I was like, "Where you guys going?" They're like, "Oh, we're going to go right over here to see Trump's speech, and then we're gonna go by the Capitol and stuff." I said, "Okay, what are you gonna do?" And I'm military, so I'm like, "What are you gonna do? What's the plan?" And they're like, "We don't have one." I said, "Peace." And then I went the other way. I have a picture of it. I'll show you. I'll send an email. I got your email. And I went the other way, and some guy snapped a picture of me going the opposite way, and all you could see is a whole bunch of Trumpers going the opposite way towards the Capitol. But it's only me in the middle of the street walking the other way. Wow. And so for me, that's one of my favorite pictures that has been ever taken of me, and for, you know, as inspiration for other people too, because it was like that old thing your mom says, if somebody jump off a bridge, you're gonna do it too, like that type of thing. So I was like, wow, I'm so glad I like trusted my gut and went the other way.
Amen. Right.
Because I ended up not being in jail, not caught up in that thing. I have an alibi. And then when I got off the stage rapping, they said, we have to evacuate the city. I said, why you have to evacuate the city? They said, because the Capitol is getting overrun right now. I said, what? They're like, we have to go to Virginia. So we went to Virginia to an Airbnb. I went online. I saw that my music was down. I talked to my boy. I said, what are we going to do? I said, let's do how Master P does and sell a whole bunch of CDs. And we sold CDs for $20. And we ended up being on the charts off of just CDs because I copied like Master P's blueprint. But because we didn't let nobody take us down and stuff like that. But I would definitely love to talk to you again. Okay. But yeah, like that was a crazy moment. So that's why I still wear the jacket from 2020. This is the old one. I have multiple of these, but I wear this old one as a reminder. As you see, it's like tearing apart, but people like it has a story.
For sure.
But I just got it online or whatever, and you can get them online or whatever. But this one has a specific significance to it because it's like basically was worn when I was able to make a decision for my own self. So it means a lot, and I appreciate you asking and stuff like that. And yeah, thank you, Gene, for saying we're a great combo. I mean, like I said, I need to get him on my thing. We got to talk beers. We got to do, you know.
Oh, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about. We will. But everybody, I want to say thank y'all so much for the live chat. Thank you again to the moderators, and of course, thank you to the rapper Marine, who's come in and been a fantastic guest. And I said the rapper Marine, it's the Marine rapper. Please forgive me. But I appreciate you, man. Thank you for your story. Thank you for answering our questions and giving a little bit of insight into what you're thinking about, and so on and so forth. Shout out to all of the moderators who've been dropping your link in the chat. If you're not already subscribed to what he's doing and checking out his projects, please, right here, please make sure that you do that. Change that right now. There you go. Check it. Is this you on Twitter?
Yeah, everything's
right, okay.
everything is the same one.
Okay, perfect. Be like Coco. Be like Coco right here. What does Coco do?
What Coco
She said she's on the replay game, but she just subscribed to the Marine rapper. Be like Coco.
Thank you.
Be like Coco. After you go and subscribe, type Coco in the chat. Say that you already did it. I love it. But no, man, I'm glad. Hey, Kat, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Grace and peace. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on tonight. But yeah, I just thought this would be a great conversation. I had not really had a lot of expectations, but I just said, hey, this would be a good brother to rap with and to hear his story and such like that. And it seems like from the comments in the chat, this was a home run. So everybody really did appreciate it. So look at that. They already look at them. They already putting Coco in the chat because they already subscribed. My people. But I really appreciate it, man. But we will definitely be doing this again. We'll end the stream. We'll coordinate some stuff, get some Beard Gang projects in the works so we can do this again. So everybody, I want to say thank y'all so much for hanging out with us tonight. I'm going to get ready to meet with my guests. We'll talk a little bit more, and I'll let you know what we're doing. Y'all just stay tuned. And until next time, everybody, grace and peace. Take care. I got to work on my